Hi everybody, Laura here. I'm so glad you're joining me today. I've got a very special project to share with you because we're kicking it up. We're doing a triple mason jar shaker. I'm using some paper smooches products. These mason jars are kind of new. They just come out. As soon as I saw them, they had shaker card written all over them, and I didn't want to just do any type of shaker. I want to kick it up. Not one, not two, but triple mason jar. And so I'm die cutting these mason jars into a front panel of Nina Solar White and using my little post-it tape to hold them down in place because I got this magnetic platform. I thought it was really going to just be awesome, but once your cutting plates start warping, not so awesome anymore. Now, I've got to always hold my dies down because I don't know, something about the magnetic thing makes it all go wonky wonky. So once we get the 3 openings die cut into my panel, I want to adhere this onto a piece of plastic, clear or acetate, whatever you want to use. I'm going to use spray adhesive sprayed on the back and adhere that down onto the plastic. I saw that little tip on Lori Willison from Soapbox Creations. Her latest Make It Monday video, she shares how she used spray adhesive, and I was like, that is genius. And so much better than using liquid. Like I've been using the Tombow Mono or the Multi-Matte Medium, and every time you try to get a little dab, but it oozes out the sides and you're so angry about it. It's all over your acetate sheeting. You never can get it off. You got to start all over. Okay, so here's the 2 dies. This one gives you a more detailed image of the jar. So I went ahead and die cut 3 of those with some fog cardstock, Simon Says stamp. I'm going to go ahead and use that spray adhesive again. Look how fine and detailed these little mason jars are. If you tried to use liquid adhesive on the mason jar, yeah, good luck with that one. You're going to have it all over the place. But the spray adhesive, it's a dream. But I will say this, I don't have a setup for my adhesive spraying, so I had to keep running outside to spray it. By the time I was done, I was in a full sweat, because I got 3 jars. I'm running in and out 3 times, plus once for the front panel. So that's 4 times running in and out the house. My fingers are covered in adhesive. By this time, I'm having a hard time getting it to stick because my fingers are so darn sticky, and my tweezers are completely coated with adhesive. So I'm going to have to designate these tweezers for adhesive, spray adhesive. But that's okay. It's all worth it because, look, I got nothing oozing out the sides. Love it. Thank you, Lori. You're a genius. Okay, so I'm going to trim off the excess. I'm going to put a whole wad of foam tape behind there. Before we adhere it down to a Nina Solar White card base, I'm going to put some gorgeous sequins. These are from Lucy Abram. She's got her little shop. It's called Little Things by Lucy. I adore. She sent me some sequins. She's so generous, beautiful person. Love her creations. Great designer. Okay, let's talk about the sequins. This first, the blue one, Aqua. It's Caribbean Dream. This one here is Phosphorescence. Love it. And then the last one's my favorite, Lime Cordial. Love this lime color. And I love all the other little tidbits you get in there. It's like you get some clear sequins, some clear seed beads. You get some colored. You just get all kinds of shimmery goodness in there. And then now once I get them to where I think I need them to be and the right amount of filler, there's nothing worse than a stingy filled mason jar shaker. Am I right? I mean, really, you got to be generous. You got to be generous with your shaker fillers, people. And I know it's hard. I understand what it's like to part with your sequins. The struggle is real. Okay, so once we get that all filled, now the edges are all open. So if you turn this card, it's all going to fall out. Therefore, I'm cutting some super duper thin strips of foam tape to fill in those sides, and that's going to hold our sequins in. And once we get that all filled in around the perimeter, now I've got to get something to cover that up, so I've got to make a little bit of a border. So what I decided to do was I took a piece of limeade ice striped pattern paper. This is by Paper Tray Ink. And I'm taking my X-Acto knife and a ruler, and I'm cutting 1/4 inch in on each side, kind of just making a rectangle border that will cover up that foam adhesive. And I thought the lime color went well with the lime cordial sequins in my mason jar. Originally, I did cut one of these out of white. Sometimes I like everything to stay really white so that the color of the sequins really pops. But when I tried it, it was just too bland. I needed some more color. Therefore, I brought out the limeade ice pattern paper. I love these pattern papers. I have them in almost every color, and they are just a great accent to use anytime, anywhere, in a place. So once we get this all cut out, you see how it just pops out very, very easily. And there you have a nice little frame to cover your foam adhesive. So now I'm just taking off the backing for my foam adhesive, and then I'll press down this little limeade ice striped frame. And we're pretty much finished with this part of the shaker. All we need to do now is add our sentiment. And you know me, of course, I didn't think ahead on my sentiment. I never think ahead. And so what I did was, look at that, so pretty. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this whole shaker goodness action front panel onto a white card base. So this card, it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's getting thicker and thicker and heavier and heavier. This is going to take about 10 stamps to mail it. And okay, so I embossed this sentiment in white. This is from Birthday Bash. It's also by Paper Smooches. And adhere that down with some foam tape, and you're good to go. I thought this would be a fun, celebratory, triple mason jar shaker birthday card. I mean, you can't get much better than that. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.